friends, our modern journey began just shy of 40 years ago. At the Stone Wall in New York City, a group gathered to show that no more police raids would be allowed in their bars, not without public reprisal. They met this bigotry head on. They met this unfairness head on. They realized at that moment they were not indeed free. They realized that every single year of their lives to that point had been lived under oppression. Friends, count your years. How old are you? 20, 30, 40, 50, older? Every single year of your life has been lived under that oppression. You have been racing, trying your hardest, going to work, paying your taxes, adopting children, giving back to the community. And the whole time, this country promised you freedom, like a carrot dangling in your face. And all along that carrot dangling, you remain hungry. You remain hungry for that essential American right, this necessary freedom that belongs not to those who will use their religion to tell us where we are wrong, but to us. We are the ones who take up the slack of this nation and fill in with our own hard work and sacrifice. Friends, we have made progress. We're on our way. Vermont, Iowa, Sweden, for God's sake. And Prop 8 is a setback. A setback like Prop 8 hurts. It hurts our very American core that we have cultivated through years of dedication to a country that we believe in. And that hurt turns to anger. Friends, I know you're angry. I'm angry too. But I know I have to turn my anger into something greater. I have to channel that anger and make it energy that is worthwhile. I have to rise above what my enemies think I will do. I know that I, just like in Stonewall 40 years ago, I've got to stop living in this dream. Continue my own fight. Out of the bars, into the streets. Challenge you, each and every one of you, do the same thing. 30 years from now, our children will look back on these days, and they will seem like a bad dream that we had, and they will look back and they will say, what did you do? What is your answer going to be? I ask you, listen to this challenge and accept it. It's not going to be easy, but do it. Nonetheless, I assure you it is going to allow you to answer that question from those children 30 years from now with your head up, your back straight, and your pride firmly planted. My challenge, brothers and sisters, is this. Stand up for yourselves. Don't stop fighting until Illinois and the entire nation offers full marriage equality. Believe now. We don't gather here. We are not here today to moan. We're not here today to whine. We're not here today to wallow. We gather here today to remind ourselves that we are strong, brothers and sisters. What will you do? Will you remind our president to keep his promises? Will you? Overturn unfair laws that are killing our community. Will you allow civil unions in Illinois to be the end of the fight? Will you? No. Marriage now. Proposition 8, this is a rallying point. It's terrible. Yeah, it is. Is it the end of our world? Absolutely not. It's not the end of our world, because I know, looking out at this crowd, each and every one of you, I have faith, I have hope that you won't let it be the end. What will you do? This struggle continues. Keep the fight going. Out of the bars, into the streets. Fight back now.